This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 10, Episode 2, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington. And I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington life and sports as part of the mighty Rick Snyder Empire, which this Saturday night, we got a special one. It's the stuffed ham video to be put up. Sam, we're both Southern Marylanders. I thought everybody put stuffed ham to Christmas time, but turns out, no. The New York Times did a big story. I love it when Yankees explain our Southern heritage to us. That's always good. But outside of crabs, it's probably the most Southerny thing. I did a video last week, Matt, Chaptico Market, which is way down south, St. Mary's.
Easy. It's like 10 minutes away from my house.
Well, it's 20 minutes from me, but it's way down there. It's an hour off the Beltway.
Yeah.
And I always heard the chicken was great. So I'm standing in the parking lot, filming this video, meat and chicken. People driving by wondering if I've lost my mind. And 104,000 people watched it. So I guess it's time to do food videos versus Commanders.
Chaptico fried chicken, their green beans, their JoJo's, which are potato wedges for you people that don't know. And they used to have a blueberry cobbler, which was Rick, it was an 11 out of 10. And I'm not a big blueberry fan, but man, them Amish can make some blueberry cobbler, man. That stuff was so good. But yes, Chaptico Market is a 10 out of 10.
All right, so I got the stuffed ham video coming. I want to do the Walls Bakery with the eclairs, which are humongous, but I can't eat them. So you're going to have to come on the show and eat it.
I'm going to send my wife. Those are her favorite things in the entire world. We had Walls mini eclairs at our wedding. She requested them.
Wow. Well, they're like, for those who don't know, they're probably 4 times the average eclair size. On there. I could eat the first one before I realized it. Mm-hmm. I could eat the second one, try to enjoy it. By the third one, my blood sugar is gone. I'm just woozy, but I eat it anyway. It's like, my daughter once called me 10 minutes after she gave me one to go, said, "Hey, when you get home and eat that," I said, "Oh, it's already gone."
Yeah, that was in the car.
That was my eating days. I'm on the wagon again. So, all right, whatever. People love food, so I guess we'll talk about food more. But playoff games. Since no Commanders game to pick. Saturday, Houston, let's see, Cleveland's -3 over Houston. Who do you like?
Where's the game?
I don't know. Cleveland, I think.
Cleveland?
I forget. Doesn't matter.
Give me the Browns.
I'm taking Houston. Kansas City -4 over Miami.
Oh, give me Miami.
Oh, I'm taking Kansas City. Well, okay, I'm going to be 2-0 over you. Sunday, and that's a Peacock game, so you have to tell me who won. That's crazy. There's a playoff game on Peacock only.
You don't have Peacock?
No.
Oh, you don't have Xfinity Internet. That's why.
Yeah. So I had it for a while, watched what I wanted to watch, and now I'm back. But I just bought a new computer, so I get Apple for 3 months. So I can go watch the Charlie Brown Christmas special finally.
There you go. Yeah, no, if you had Xfinity Internet, you get Peacock. You used to get Peacock for free for a year or something like that. But I forgot you moved counties.
Sunday games, Buffalo -10 over Pittsburgh.
Oh, give me Buffalo. J.J. Watt's not playing.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh with the 10. I think Buffalo wins.
If we're picking against the spread, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always been against spread. Here's my best.
I'm just picking who's going to win.
Dallas, best bet for me, -7.5 over Green Bay.
Yeah, they're Dallas.
Yeah, that seems easy. This is an interesting game. Detroit's -3 over the Rams.
It's in Detroit.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford revenge game versus Jared Goff revenge game. I mean, I honestly, I think the Lions are just a step better than the Rams, but the Rams have been playing good lately. We saw it here. Yeah, I'll go with the Lions.
Yeah, I am too, but I agree with you. I could go either way because the Rams,
that's definitely a 50-50 game.
It's kind of almost a knockout game because whoever wins this isn't going to be able to win the next one.
No, probably not.
They're going to spend it. And then Monday night playoff games. They love just dominating TV.
Monday night playoff game?
This one is amazing. It's Philadelphia -3 over Tampa.
Ooh, Tampa could play upset.
It's horrible. What's Philadelphia lost? 5 or 6?
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what?
wow.
Give me Tampa. Give me Tampa.
Yeah, I'm taking Tampa too. I just because Philly has been horrible. It would be very NFL like for them to blow out the Bucks.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't see that. It's interesting. Some good games. The NFL loves to spread it out on TV. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So here's the big story in Washington. Washington now has the second overall pick. They made it. They fought their way through it. They lost their last 8 games, and now they get to take number 2. Before I was thinking you trade down a little bit, go to Penix, which scares me if they take Penix because I'm worried about a typo there. If that just autocorrects, and I'm going to be screwed on that. That's as a writer, that kind of thing scares me.
Yeah.
I mean, that could very easily happen.
Yeah.
But
you would, your tweets would go into a way different Twitter search.
That's my OnlyFans site. That's different. We're not doing that.
Guess.
I said, ladies dig scars. So I'm going to make my money there. But, I would have said Penix. He didn't look particularly great in the final because Michigan looked great on there. At 2, you almost have to take a quarterback. And I hate to say it, but I think Sam Howell played his way out of the job. Because he had almost 4,000 yards, but the second half of the season was a blank show for him and everybody else. I still think he could be a decent quarterback in the league, but at number 2, can you get something? I don't like Caleb Williams. He scares me mentally at all. So does Drake get to there? Maybe take him, or else to me, I sucker someone else into moving up and getting that quarterback and drop down a little bit and take a tackle.
Yeah. I mean, there are some intriguing people right ahead of you that would want possibly to take a quarterback. Obviously, the New York Giants. I don't know, man. I think new GM, new head coach, new philosophy. I think you start off with the new quarterback.
Yeah.
It's either going to be May or the kid from LSU, Jaden Daniels. It's got to be one or the other. It just depends on what the coach his preference is. Because by all accounts, but let me run this by you, Rick. If the Bears take Caleb Williams number 1 overall and they want to unload Justin Fields, I've heard Justin Fields, you could get Fields for a 3rd. Would you give up one of your 3rd round picks for Justin Fields and still take the best tackle on the board at number 2?
I would give up my 3 for Fields, no doubt. And I would still trade down my 2 overall to get that tackle because you don't take a tackle at number 2.
I mean, the Patriots want Drake May. I mean, that's, they could slide up one spot or, with, like I said, the Giants at 5 or 6.
Yeah. Fields isn't a bad quarterback. I mean, he's not a great quarterback. And I know the fans could be like, we could have had a great one. Well, let's go over number 2s. Chase Young, bang. Robert Griffin III, bam. Who was it before? But they've had several. None of them worked out hardly. The number 2, LeVar Arrington.
Yeah. No, Samuels was 2, wasn't he?
No, Arrington was 2 and Samuels was 3.
Oh, I always thought it was Samuels 2, Arrington 3.
No,
I'm old. My memory doesn't work anymore.
Dan Snyder tried to jerk LeVar's agent's chains and say, we're going to take you 3rd so we can pay you less, and we'll pay Samuel 2nd. Oh, man, that was a big S-storm hit on that day. I remember. That was just Dan Snyder being a jerk with him. But LeVar was, a solid number 2 pick. Didn't last forever. And they always say, like, oh, you know what, this quarterback, he's 27 or whatever. Hey, you don't have any 10, 15-year plans with these guys. If you get lucky, okay. But,
you want to get 5 years out of a quarterback so that he's on his rookie contract, and by the end of the 5 years, you're going to get another one because you don't want to pay him.
Well, what about free agency? Do you go for Kirk and then you could do different things? I don't think fans would be happy bringing Kirk back.
I think Kirk has too much of a. There's too many. That fire's still a little warm. I don't think those embers are fully out yet. I don't think you can bring him back, even though it is Dan and Bruce and all those, Jay Gruden, they're all gone. This is a new era, a new dawn in Washington. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Kirk would take it. Honestly, I don't think Kirk would come back here.
I think Kirk would for the right money.
Well, of course. That's all he wants is the guaranteed money.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, the dude's made a fortune. And I watched the quarterback show on HBO, I think it was, or Netflix. And man, his house is just unbelievable. And it's funny because even his wife lays out his clothes for him because he's all about football. And the dude had my shirt on. I started laughing. It was just a dad shirt.
Y'all
I,
both shop at Kohl's. Very good.
yeah. Well, yeah. Mr. Cole died last week, by the way.
Oh my goodness.
He was a senator. He was actually a senator, a big deal.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, so much for that. But I don't know. There's a lot to do on that pick, man. I think in the end, I know they want to pick it, but it better be the right guy. It can't be Caleb. And you still have Penix maybe still is in the mix, but now you got a left-handed quarterback too.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to move your line around because you want your best tackle at right tackle. And they don't have that guy on the roster,
right?
And they're going to go picking high. The second round's got to be an offensive lineman too. I mean, boy, they busted on second round picks. We always talk about Ron's first, but the defensive lineman they got, Fedarian Mathis,
He hasn't played.
Barely played and hadn't played well at all.
Mm-mm.
And Forbes, I'm sorry, I give up. He was like, you can't give up after a year. The next coach, no, I've seen enough.
I've seen it. Well, Quan Martin was a second round pick, wasn't
he? Yeah, now he's starting to show something.
Quan looks like he might end up being something, but yeah, I mean, but that's the history of this franchise, Rick. I mean, realistically, first and second round picks don't pan out in this town. It's third and beyond. I mean, we got a dang on near Hall of Fame tight end in the third round in Chris Cooley. It just under the Dan Snyder tenure, those first and second round draft picks were just not that good. I mean,
yeah. Next year's schedule for home games, besides the division, Atlanta, Carolina, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Chicago, and Tennessee. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, Pittsburgh will be a big game for people here. But
so the NFC South and the AFC East or North.
Boring games overall. I mean, yeah. And then on the road, they're at Baltimore, which is kind of cool. That's an easy one. They're at New Orleans, so if you're a Redskins or Commanders fan, you can go get drunk down there. That's a fun trip to go. I'm just thinking people where they're going. They're at Tampa. That's kind of a fun place to visit, more than I would believe. It's not bad. Go to Ybor City and all. They're at the Bengals. Cincinnati's, I don't know, it'd be an interesting game, especially if Burrow's healthy. They're at Arizona. That's always a fun place to visit too. And a lot of West Coast Commanders fans go to that game.
I love Arizona.
You'd be amazed. There might be a pro Commanders crowd if it's early in the season, but Arizona was always a fun trip, and we'd come back through Vegas and hang out for a little bit. So,
former NFC East rival, Phoenix Cardinals.
Oh yeah, I remember those days. Used to beat them every year too.
Yep.
But Glendale, Arizona, and all is a really cool place.
Yes, it is.
So the schedule's not, it's bearable. It's a last place schedule. Let's see. Last thing before we go is the roster shakeup. I say 30 new players out of 53, give or take a couple.
I agree, and I guess my biggest question for you is: will we see trades of big names? Will we see a John Allen be shipped out of here? Will we see, will they cut like a Jamin Davis? Will they cut, somebody that you don't expect? I think the writing's on the wall for Curtis Samuel to leave. I think he was a Rivera type guy. He came from Carolina. Obviously they're probably not going to re-sign Gibby. Gibson will go get a deal somewhere else. I would like to see a Cam Curl possibly get a deal here, but it all depends on who the new GM and the new coach bring in for a D coordinator if he fits that system. I mean, Cam's one of those guys that's kind of universally, he can play any position in the secondary. And I think Jeremy Reeves pointed that out on Twitter that, he can play any position in the secondary, and he has done it for Del Rio and Ron.
Hopefully Emmanuel Forbes just pulled up to the drive-thru and wanted a triple Whopper with cheese or something. I hope he spends the season getting bigger, but I wasn't happy with him. John Allen, I don't see them trading him. I think the new coach will come in and say, hey man, it won't take us that much longer. Give him that pep speech. This is your hometown. I just don't think they trade him away. that was like Bruce Allen being weak and Trent Williams, forcing his way out. But I don't think so. I agree
I
with you.
just know that like a John Allen type, he's still got some tread on the wheels.
Yeah.
And they could ship him somewhere for a decent draft pick, and he has been someone that has been vocally disgruntled this season. So, I don't necessarily think he's ever come out and said he wanted to be traded. I know he said he's tired of the losing, which hopefully a new coach, new GM, they're going to change that winning, or they're going to put us back into a winning culture. But I do think it's going to take a year or two. It's not going to be immediate, but yeah, Emmanuel Forbes, I could definitely see. I could see the new D coordinator saying, look, this guy's a first round pick. Let's see what we can do with him. Maybe he gets designated just straight to a nickel, or he's fourth on the depth chart. I don't think St. Juice is going to be on this team. I don't think Kendall Fuller is going to be on this team. I think the secondary is going to get a big shakeup because realistically, Rick, linebacker, secondary, guys like that you can find in free agency. Those guys will be available, as to where offensive linemen and good defensive linemen aren't necessarily always available in free agency. So that's where you have to focus more of your draft. Going back to the draft, I think if they do end up going quarterback number 2 overall, I think both of your second round draft picks need to be a left tackle and a right tackle. Or a center or something. You have to do some sort of offensive line combination up there. And will ESPN go to break after the first round pick? I mean, it's kind of hard. I mean, they're gonna have one pick and then go to break, and then you're gonna miss the second pick in the draft.
Yeah, that would be hard. That's a good one. I hadn't thought about that, but they did it to almost every pick, on there. I mean, and there was another show they were doing where they were following it when it was Washington Stern. It went to break. It wasn't a draft. I just laughed. It's like, this never ends, but hopefully it will. We're never ending. We're going to do the show until they get everybody in place, and then we're going to take a break. How long does that take? I don't know, but a few weeks. It depends on the coach. If his coach is like Ben Johnson, they really decide they want him, they got to wait, and they go to the Super Bowl or something, you got to wait. So root against the.
You all are watching this on a Friday. I say the general manager is hired by Monday.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe earlier.
The GM position will be filled very quickly. I'm sorry, they have a GM. The vice president or president of football ops, whatever they're going to call Adam Peters.
Yeah, they have all kind of names for things, whatever. I'm vice president of, halftime lunch.
Hey, Bruce was the president of the Harvest Fest.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Well, all right, so we're out of here anyway. So I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent with your hosts, Rick Snyder and Matt Combs.